What's up, and boy, and you be on it, don't you? Be on it, huh? What's good, yo? What's good, DJ? What's good? Oh my. Waiting for a couple people to get in here, man.
I think maybe the most exciting part of any job is jumping in at the deep end and not really knowing what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, and just experimenting until you find your way of doing it. There's no right or wrong. It's just your process.
What's going on, man? Long day, man. Super Bowl around the corner. Still mourning Kobe Bryant. There's a lot going on out here. Reggie was good. Sitting here watching this film of this kid Markeston, Florida State. Just committed to Florida State, 6'6". It's a big kid. What's going on, man? Three more days. Three more games for the big game? Four more games? Three more games? What time we got left? How many more days we got left for a big game, man? Yeah, checking out this huddle, man. Florida State gets two commits. Markeston Douglas, huge kid. Oh my. And Darion Williamson. Kid 6'6", 250. Would I prefer my interior to be above 6'4", 6'3"? I mean, I would prefer my interior to be dogs, man. Um, I think when it comes to O-line, I guess the bigger the better, the stronger the better, however you want to put it. Yeah, I mean that's how I see it. Um, yeah, I'm gonna take a look at this Darian kid at Florida State, just committed. Take a look at this, man. So yeah, what's going on tonight with y'all, man? Take a look at this highlight. Yeah, Florida State gets two in one day. Florida State moving right along with the Willie Taggart out of there. Okay, Anthony, what you say the past few years when it comes to recruiting, I noticed that offensive linemen from Florida and South Florida are a lot smaller than the offensive linemen from up north. Is there a reason for that? Um, okay, I could take it to this. Okay, so youth football in South Florida and mostly Florida was dominated by Pop Warner football and weighted football. What we call is weighted football. So we can go back to I think it was 3-4 years ago. Miami was still playing weighted football, which means that they'll get on the scale for the game. Both teams get on the scale. If you don't make the weight, you don't get to play. That's how we grew up playing football in South Florida. Um, Up north, outside the state and other places, they had been playing unweighted football. They were playing by age. So if I'm in your same grade or your same age, we could play against each other. So the kid can grow to be as big as he want to be, as long as he's playing with the same age. Down in Miami, they were doing weighted football, so they would get older beliders playing with younger kids. So a kid can be maybe 10 years old playing, or maybe 12 years old playing with 10-year-olds, but he was smaller. So I say that to say this. For a long time, there were no offensive linemen on the field in the majority of Florida when you played football. Everybody was skinny. No big kids were allowed to play football till maybe 4 years ago. So just stick around. We're gonna start. So offensive linemen are gonna start popping up. Just be patient. Probably some quick offensive linemen also. Just be patient. That's a good question though. Yeah, man, that's a good question. But yeah, we're looking forward to Super Bowl festivities this weekend. We're gonna be a part of too. We gotta cover a few things of groundbreaking at Gwen Cherry, Super Fest. We'll be there. We'll be in a couple places, man. In a couple places, man. I'm really thinking about taking Footballville full time. For a long time, I've been a correction officer. I'm an officer for the county. I usually do the football thing in my spare time, but thinking about taking the thing full time, man. Getting some camps around across Florida, then leaving Florida. We already have Make a Play 7-on-7 tournament. Throw a few camps around Florida, get some kids exposure, give out a few awards. Um, got a website coming. Got a website coming where we're gonna allow people to submit their kids' videos, their highlights, because they send them to us all the time anyway. But this would be a hub where you submit your highlight and we pick a highlight every month and highlight it. So yeah, man, I think I'm about to take this football bill to the next level. Lever. Today I was with went down to talk to Mr. Jaden Alexis. Jaden Alexis is a wide receiver out of Jaden Alexis is the wide receiver out of Monarch. Dad played in the NFL. Didn't allow him to play football until he was in high school. He got an offer from Florida State today. He has a couple of schools. He has Alabama and a few more. Kid runs violently. He's a wide receiver. When watched him play against Stoneman Douglas last year, first play of the game, he took a hit 80 yards. Monarch versus Stoneman Douglas. You can go Google it on Footballville. 80 yards, he took a hit. Oh man. Yeah, so when I sat down and interviewed Jaden Alexis, we'll put that out in a little bit. Interesting interview, very bright kid. Okay, so let me see what you say football video. Do you think it would benefit Pop Warner football in general around the country to have universal rules, not have weighted or unweighted football? Well, too many leagues, man. Too much money to be made. So they're not always going to be on the same page. Everybody want to run the things the way they want to run the things, but I think for the most part it's weighted. The turning point for South Florida was when two things happened. Atlanta brought a team here maybe 5 years ago, and they slaughtered us in football. Freezy Flowrider took three teams to California to play against Snoop Dogg's teams, and those teams were so much bigger than our kids. When Freezy and Flowrider came back, they was like, "No, we switching. We going unlimited." And nobody was unlimited then in South Florida. But they kind of changed the game. Hats off to them dudes, man. They kind of changed the game. Let me see what else you say. What, do you remember the football movie with The Rock, where he was a correction facility? He had a coach. Yeah, I remember that. Texas was that all around the country. Well, there's no football teams in Dade County corrections. I know that for a fact. None of that. So yeah, I went and sat down with another Florida, Jaden Alexis. He got offered by Florida State. We got a nice little video coming out, man. I asked some of the top kids in the nation, tell me some of the reasons why you go to schools. Why would you pick a school? And they talk about why they pick schools, and some of their questions are going to surprise you because you guys think they pick schools always for money. Y'all think everybody's getting paid, and that's not it. Um, it was for juvenile correction, right? Please. No, I don't think so. I never seen that in Florida. Do you have any updates on every situation with the chief of staff position? Nah, they haven't updated anything. I thought Deion Sanders was going to get the job at IMG, and that didn't happen. Yeah, so nothing with that position yet. Even though I heard Ed Reed was on board. I heard he was on board. I don't know. Kind of fakey stuff going down at University of Miami recently, man. I don't know what's going on. Being that you scout high school football, do you think eventually, just to be dominated by preps? They picked up a guy named Markeston and a guy named Darion Williamson. He was the end, I think a cornerback or something. Being that you were scouting high school football, do you think that eventually, what you asking? Do you think eventually just to be dominated by the prep schools like IMG Academy? I think you missed something in that question. We working on the ones for the linemen. Being that you scout high school football, do you think eventually it's going to be dominated by prep schools, IMG, in the future, where these kids transfer to? I mean, Alabama is building this big prep school called USA High. IMG can't go to Texas anymore. IMG can't go to California. They've been banned. Um, Caught up with the kid from St. John's this weekend, man. Big kid, running back, 270 pounds. I think that if these public schools keep playing with these big schools, I think there's a trick involved. It's almost like you're allowing them to market to your fans. So eventually, parents gonna start saying, "I want my kids to go to the best," and you're devaluing your school. You see, St. Thomas don't jump into bed with them real fast. St. Thomas don't deal with it because it's kind of like devaluing your brand. You ask me. That's how I look at it. My 2 cents. All right, man. We're gonna get out of here, man. Like I said, we're gonna start covering some more events, current events, what's going on. R.I.P. Kobe. That's still some tragic trash, man. I can't understand that for the death of me. But I tell you this: don't put off tomorrow what you could do today. The rest of your life could be seconds away, man. Um, and you can't control that. You cannot control that. Rob Gronkowski believes Tom Brady should test the free agent market. What y'all think about Rob Gronkowski saying Tom Brady should test the free agent market? All right, man, we gonna scatter up out of here, man. Footballville, man. We out here. Stay out here.